Hello friends, and welcome back to the channel. On today's episode, my friends over at Atlantis sent me this really cool D-558-2 Skyrocket, and today we are going to build that. Before we get into that, I want to just say thank you to all my current subscribers and viewers. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. I really appreciate it. And if you haven't already, I'd really appreciate it if you could click that subscribe button down below. It helps out the channel, and I really appreciate it. Alright, so this kit was originally released way back in 1955 by Revell, and it has been re-released several times over the years, back in 1960, 61, 1962. In 1969 there was a Japanese release of this kit by Revell, and then in 1960-something there was a Revell/Ladella combination kit, once again in 1972, and then in 1994. So this kit's been out of circulation since 1994. So now, in 2024, Atlantis has repopped this kit and made it available again to the masses. Once again, thanks to my friends over at Atlantis for sending this into the channel for review. I really appreciate that, guys. So with all that said, let's get into this kit and check it out. Okay, so this is a pretty low parts count kit. Here we have our two halves of the fuselage, and it has a lot of raised detail on it. If you can see here, you can actually see the raised detail for the markings even on the plane. It says Navy right there, and it has the stars and stripes, Navy up here, and a call out on the wing. Not a whole lot of detail outside of that. There are a few recessed panel lines here, and some more here around the cockpit. The same on this side. The wings look pretty nice though. Not a lot of flash on this kit, I will add that. Here we have the tail wings here. It's just one piece. And our last sprue, which is the landing gear, the cockpit cover, the nose of the plane. Here we have a ladder and a pilot, and the exhaust vents for the back of the plane. Pretty decent detail on that, I must say. And again, not a lot of flash. Here are our landing bay doors. You can build this with landing gear up or down. And for our clear parts, we have a one-piece clear canopy, and that will mount inside here. And it does come with the Atlantis Universal kind of display stand. And here's our decal sheet. Pretty well designed, nicely laid out. Atlantis always has really good decals, so these should go on without a problem. They've got a nice little Douglas D-558-2 Skyrocket logo here, which we can attach to the display stand as well. And here we have the instructions. Again, being this a very old and low part count kit, the assemblies are pretty straightforward and simple. Then on the back, we have our options for landing gear and the final assembly of the wings. And then finally down here, adding the cockpit and the pilot. And then also it tells about how to assemble your base. Okay, so that's going to do it for the unboxing and the parts review of this kit. So now let's get some glue, some sanding sticks, and get to the build. Okay, just a quick update on the build process here. So, got my main body assembled, the wings assembled, and this all put together, sanded the seam lines down and cleaned all that up, primed everything in a light gray primer, and then I painted everything in just a flat white. Now, my next step is going to be clear coating this in a gloss clear so that I can do some additional detailing, add my decals, and everything else. Now, I showed earlier in the video that I sanded off all of the raised insignias and markings on the body of the plane, on the fuselage and the wings. Now, you don't have to do that. I did it on mine just because that's how I wanted to do mine. You can do yours any way you want. You can just put the decals right over those raised areas. You'll probably want to use a decal setting solution to get them to sit in, but you can do that, and you can even actually just not use the decals and just paint those raised areas if you wanted to go that route. Now on mine, I am doing it landing gear up, so I have my landing gear doors in the closed position. That's just how I want to display mine. You can do yours however you want, but I will say so far this kit is going together very easily. It's not a challenging kit. It doesn't have a lot of parts in it, so this would actually be a good kit for a beginner. On top of the easy assembly, it's molded completely in white, and it's a nice white plastic that they use. So you could put this together, no paint or anything, decal it, and it would be a pretty attractive, nice little finished kit. Now, one thing I will address, because it's been asked of me before, in the instructions on the landing gear, it shows this picture here. Now, some people don't understand exactly what this means, so I'm going to do my best to explain it to you. This used to be a lot of kits you would do this to add wheels and stuff to use this technique. So what you would do is you would take just a standard screwdriver, a flat edge screwdriver, and then you would heat the end of this over a candle or a lighter or some other heat source. And then the way it works is, as you can see the landing gear here, where the wheel goes on, you've got a pretty long shaft. So the wheel just basically goes over the shaft and it spins on that shaft, but there's some material still sticking up above the wheel. So what you would do is take your heated screwdriver and just lightly press it on the top of that shaft there. And what that does is that would mushroom out that piece of plastic there, so the wheel wouldn't slide off the shaft, but it would still spin. And you can do that if you want. What I do on mine, I'm not using the landing gear on mine, but this is what I would do, is I would take my nippers and I would just nip off that excess part of the shaft. So now it's not sticking out. And then I would just take my glue, dab a little glue on it, and you're done. The wheel will not turn if you do this, you realize, but most of the time you're going to put this on a shelf or in a display case. You're not going to really want it to turn anyways. So I just wanted to address that. I had been asked that in the past, what that means. So that's basically what that image means and how you actually do it. So in the meantime, I'm going to get back to clear coating these parts so that can dry, and then I can continue to do some detailing and final assembly. So back to the build. is, friends, the completed Douglas 558-2 Skyrocket from Atlantis Models. This was a really fun, super easy, and quick to build kit, and I really had a lot of fun doing this one. For my build, I did it wheels up, like it's flying. I added it on the stand. I also customized the base a little bit. I used some Tamiya clear blue on the bottom of the base just to give it some color. But other than that, the plane's pretty much painted like it is on the box. And like I mentioned before, this is a really low parts count model kit that goes together really easy, so this would be a great kit for a beginner or someone just getting into building model airplanes. The material that they use on this kit is a nice consistent white color, so technically you could build this without even painting it and it would still look really nice. You could also build this kit wheels down like it is on the box, and there's not a lot of detail on the landing gear or inside up where the landing gear connects, but you could black that out and it would still look really nice on a shelf. The kit does come with a ladder and a pilot. I'm not using mine, but they're molded really well and they're clean, and with a little paint they could look really sharp as well. As for the decals, Atlantis always does a really good job with their decals. They went on with no problem, nice and flat and clear, and they just look great. So that's going to do it for this build of the D-558-2 Skyrocket from Atlantis. I want to thank my friends at Atlantis again for sending this into the channel. I really appreciate it. And if you enjoyed this video, please remember to give this video a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, please click that subscribe button down below. Helps out the channel and I'd really appreciate it. Alright, so until next time, friends, everyone be safe out there and go build something.